everybody, I'm Sarah and I'm a recorder player. Welcome back to Team Recorder. If you aren't subscribed to this channel already, please take a moment to click on the subscribe button and don't forget to click on the bell icon to turn on notifications. That means you will get notified whenever I bring out a video, otherwise they kind of get lost in the mists of YouTube. Anyway, today's video is an introduction to the world's smallest recorder. This is the GARKLEIN recorder, the smallest member of the recorder family. It's half the size of the soprano recorder and it sounds a full octave higher. And before you start having problems with the world's smallest recorder, yes, there are some recorders that are smaller, but these are not real instruments. These are toys. This one kind of barely makes a whistle, and this one is a pen. The lowest note of the GARKLEIN is, are you ready for it? C6. So I'm going to tell you where this comes from, how you can approach playing it, which instruments you can buy, and what kind of music is written for this thing. So is there any historic precedence for this tiny little recorder? Well, Mr. Praetorius says in his 1617 tome Musica Syntagma, he describes an instrument called a GARKLEIN blockfluitlein, like a very small recorder. But his description of the instrument is a recorder with only 3 holes and a thumb hole. So there was an instrument of this size back then, but it didn't have as many holes. There's also some debate that one of the flutes specified in Monteverdi's opera L'Orfeo is actually the GARKLEIN flute, but mainly we play it on the sopranino. There's debate around this, but that's all the way back in 1607. And the earliest surviving actual example of a GARKLEIN instrument is from 1670 from a maker in Nuremberg. So yes, they do go back a really long way, even though not any music has really survived for it. And I'm going to get into repertoire a bit later, but today they're mainly used as a special effect because they're so high. So let's get into the instrument. GARKLEINs tend to be one piece because they're so small. You can see that the finger holes are all offset. This enables you to actually get your fingers on the instrument. And that's one of the biggest challenges of this instrument, getting your fingers on the holes without them all crowding each other. The range of the recorder is from C6 to A7, so an octave and a sixth. I have managed to get to the top B flat, but it will make your ears hurt. Another challenge is that a lot of the sharps and flats fingerings are different. I guess because it's so small, physics becomes different. So I'm going to take you through those different fingerings. For a start, you'll see that at the bottom there are no double holes. That means for the low D sharp and C sharp, you have to very carefully half hole it. This takes some practice because those holes are just so small. Moving on from that, the F sharp is with just one finger. The G sharp is going to be with fingers 1, 2, 5 and 6. The B flat is going to be just with your fingers 1 and 3. The C sharp is a bit tricky. There are a couple of options. You have to see what is going to work and be in tune on your instrument. You can use just the thumb. Or I found on mine you can play a D and then add finger 5. For the high E flat, I found it works to play high E and then add half a hole. The high F sharp needs finger 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And the high A, I got by playing G, finger 1, 2, 3, then adding 5, 6 and 7. And to get the high B flat, I took away my little finger. Higher than that, I will let you experiment on my own because I want to protect my ears. What GARKLEIN instruments are available for you to buy? Well, I have a Küng GARKLEIN. These come in all different woods. I tried them out and I actually preferred the maple, but that's my own personal preference. The other wooden GARKLEIN is made by Mollenhauer Kinsiker, which is their kind of Renaissance model. So yeah, you can choose from a more Baroque GARKLEIN or a more Renaissance GARKLEIN, depending on what you want. In plastic, there is an Aulos Symphony GARKLEIN, and I've also seen one by Thomann. Now, Thomann plastic instruments tend to be of a lower quality than the Aulos, so if you're going for plastic, I would pick the Aulos one. And what music is there available to play on the GARKLEIN? To be honest, I have not found any solo pieces written specifically for the GARKLEIN. If you know of one, please tell me in the comments because I'd love to hear it. Why is this? Well, it's so high, it's actually a bit too high to be enjoyable as a solo instrument. But that doesn't mean there's not a lot of things that you can play on it. Things that I think would be suitable, there's the little book, The Bird Fancier's Delight. That's all kind of solo pieces written after birds. If there's something this sounds like, it's bird-like. This can fit really nicely into Renaissance music by using it in two ways. You could play a quartet up an octave. So the top line is on a GARKLEIN, the second line on a sopranino, the third line on a soprano, and the bass line on an alto. That is possible. It will sound high, but maybe for one little piece as a special item, it could be nice. And what you can also do in any piece at a kind of climactic, finale, exciting moment, you could double the top soprano line with your GARKLEIN as well to give it that extra dimension. I also did a little bit of Googling for you and I found a bunch of pieces, all ensemble pieces that have a GARKLEIN in them. Some of these are for recorder orchestra and some of these are contemporary music, and I'm just going to put the text here. Pause your video and write it down at will. I'm going to be totally honest, in my entire playing and performing career, I have performed a concert with this once. So I'm curious to hear, if you are a GARKLEIN player, what you like about it and what repertoire you like to play on it, because I'd love to know. So that was it. That was my introduction to the world's smallest proper recorder. As always, you can subscribe to my channel by clicking on my face down here in the corner. Over here is a link to the Team Recorder Patreon, where you can choose to support the channel. And up here is my video, Introduction to the Sopranino Recorder. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye!